to ask question by voice, but you just need to ask, and we need to wait a little bit more time. Maybe someone else is going to connect to our LuxembourgJS Meetup, and hope that you are doing well during these quarantine times. And it gave us this good opportunity to try online services for our talks. And also what's good, that we can have video after this talk, because usually we don't have it. And yeah, we later we can share all videos with you if everything will be good today. Also, that's good. That's good that I think online we can connect to our conference, like small conference meetup, from houses, from anywhere, and you can just be sitting with your family in cozy houses and listen interesting JavaScript talks. That's, I think, amazing opportunity. Okay, just don't know, write to me in the chat how is it going all these 2 months in quarantine. Are you already working in the offices, or are you still sitting at home? Because for example, in my place we are still sitting at home for whole May, definitely, maybe in June. Yeah, I love it too. I think that's good. But it's also nice to have opportunity to speak with colleagues like you, for example. It's also very interesting thing. Yeah, okay, that's good. Okay, during the talk you actually can write your questions. And you can ask anything. Then after the talk, speaker or me, depends how it will be going later. We will read your questions and answer. The speaker will answer to them. Okay, we did this. All these things together with LuxembourgJS organizers. It's so cool. We now have several organizers, and it's very good that we're like real community and all of you. And if you want to help somehow with our organization, just write us. Okay, we can start. First talk is from Zarema Khalilova. She's actually a very famous girl in like a Russian-speaking community, and I'm glad to introduce her. Okay, and then I think that Zarema can continue and say about herself a little bit more. And yeah, I think, Zarema, I gave you rights, and you can start, and I will switch off my camera. Okay, let's start, guys. It will be interesting.
Thank you, Rika. I share my slides now. So, and hello, everyone. Yeah, I'm Zarema. And this is my talk, Playful Webcam. I'm going to tell you about how to work with webcam in a browser with just native JavaScript capabilities. But first, I want to introduce myself a little. I'm front-end developer. I developing web over 10 years. This is my Twitter nickname, but my Twitter on Russian, sorry. I'm from St. Petersburg, Russia. It's beautiful, historical city and tourist friendly. Maybe someone of you was here. If not, it's good to travel destination after the end of the pandemic. I will glad to see you here. And I'm at home now. I live alone with my cat. She's sleeping now, and she can wake up and appear in my video at every moment. So maybe we see cat. Also, I'm founder of the local front-end community SPB Frontend. We sometimes host events, breakfast, different events. But we are mostly about communicating and making new front-end friends. Currently, I'm working with Real Advisor. It's a Swiss company about European real estate market. I working on real estate aggregator. It's isomorphic app with GraphQL and Relay, cool things, and maybe someday I will make a talk about it. Previously, I worked with a podcast, a service that handles files for web and mobile apps. For the most part, I'm working on a podcast widget. You can see it on slides. It's a JavaScript library for uploading files from different sources in a browser. Other developers can put this widget to their sites and allow their users upload files. So one of the sources is a webcam. A few years ago, I implemented webcam uploads into the widget via web API. You take photos, record videos, and save results. So I decided to take a closer look at this web API in order to add cool stuff to webcam uploads in the widget. And this talk is a summary of my researches. So this web API called Media Capture and Stream API, often associated with WebRTC. It's combined a few interfaces for requesting access to local multimedia devices, such as mics or cameras. I will tell you how to use it from simple start stream to adding complicated things and some funs. And these slides build it on web technologies based on Shower and contains live demos. I will show you and explain some code and show how it looks live. You can see a link to this site in browser. Also, I share a link to slides in the end, and you can use it slides as cheat sheet in your work if necessary. So main part of working with webcam is a stream, live stream of video or sound from devices. In order to start a webcam stream, you need to call getUserMedia method, which provided by media devices in Navigator. And this method, getUserMedia, takes one argument, constraints. Constraints hold things like turning video or audio on off. We talk about constraints later. And get user media returns promise, which get resolved if users grant permissions and promise handler receive the media stream object. It's a stream variable here. So in the handler, we got stream, and we can put it into the video element on the page in DOM. And when fired event unloaded metadata, we call play method by video, and our stream start to showing in video element on page. Unload metadata triggered when browser get first needed info about stream, and when stream ready to streaming. So this is live demo, first live demo. Browsers request permission, I agree. So, hey, you can see me in slides too, in big blue button and here. Oh, hi, double boss. So other way to stream is using of canvas element on the page. To do so, instead of using the existing in DOM video element, we create a new one via the get user media resolve handler. Then we put our stream into the new video element and start playback once metadata gets works. There is more to comfort. We get the canvas element from our page and set its width and height according to the video size. It's important. Next, we create a two-dimensional context on the canvas and make the draw function, which passes the video element to the draw image method of our context. It's get current video frame and paint it on canvas. And then we go request animation frame. We tell the browser what we wish to perform an animation and request that browser call to the draw function to update animation before the next repaint. So we need to repaint video frame on browser repaint. And finally, we start animation with request animation, with calling request animation frame, not in draw function, near with it. Finally, this is for the demo. This is not a video element, it's canvas. And canvas give our more possibility. We can add some text on video. We can add images. We can add anything you want. Maybe adding some animation or whatever. So, but streaming to canvas have some performance problems. First problem, frequency of draw image calls is higher than frame rate of the video. Draw image calling on 16 fps, but video streaming has 30 fps. Also, the more pixels, the more resource intensive it gets. If you have small resolution, no problem. If you have a big resolution, it's will very hard for devices. This is record how big video on canvas eat CPU, eat resources. It load, it get all resources what we have. It's very hard for device, but we have solution how to get it more faster. This solution use flag that we draw with frame. If we draw it already, we don't draw it again. Also adding some delay to paint video with video frame rate, no, not with FPS of animation. So this is result of this optimization. Performance were very good. It's half than before. So you can use it. So back to constraints. Constraints, how to stream settings. There are many different constraints for audio and video, and they differ from browser to browser. To find out which constraints are supported in your browser, you can call getSupportedConstraints method of the media devices object. This returns an object where fields specify the constrainable properties your user agent understands. Here is a list of constraints what my browser now support. This is a real demo. If you open this slide on your device, you get other list maybe. For example, say I want to start video with height 200 and aspect ratio of 1. So result, hey, we get a small square video. Also, capabilities relate on your device. So constraints, it's about what supported by browser. Capabilities, it's capabilities of your device, of web camera, or microphone. In order to get video capabilities of a device, you need to get a video track of your video stream with the get video tracks method and call get capabilities method of the track. The result contains an object. Those fields represent the supported capabilities properties and their values. For example, if capabilities contains a torch property, you can switch torch on the fly with a button click. Or if device supports zoom, you can get zoom settings such mean, max, and step and apply them to the input range element. This way, users can change their input range value, and you can update zoom settings of a stream on the fly. This is a demo of capabilities by my browser here don't support torch and zoom, but if you open this slide on maybe Android smartphone, you will see zoom and torch form elements, and you can play with this demo. So next, what we can do, we can take photo, and there are three ways to take photo. All of them generate blob, and there is small tip how to save blob to image. Just create a new image element and create a URL object with blob and put it into image to as a source. Back to taking photo. First way, using canvas and the draw image method. We grab a frame from the video element to the canvas by using draw image method. Next, call the toBlob method of canvas and put blob into the image element. That's all. So next, second way is about using a new image capture interface and its grab frame method. We don't have neither video or canvas element, just get video track of stream and create a new object of image capture interface. And using grab frame method by image capture. Third way is using take photo method by image capture. Unlike the previous way, it's return a full resolution photo from the stream as blob. So this is a demo with a result of all three ways, with canvas and draw image capture and take photo, image capture and grab frame. How you see, all of these ways return different result. No, grab frame, for example, result does not have at same size in pixels, just same ratio. I found one explanation of this in the Chromium repo. Chromium devs wrote that once conversion is applied to an image, you can't reproduce the original. So the images are not pixel accurate. So next thing, recording. Let's start from demo. So I have button start record. I start doing something things and stop record. And this is recorded video. I doing now other things. So how to do it? First, we need array, chunks array. It will become a buffer for video fragments. Next, create an object of media recorder interface. And adding for buttons, adding handlers for buttons. When user click on start button, we call start method by media recorder and start recording. Well, when called on stop button, we stop recording. So add handlers for media recorder events. Then when metadata gets loaded, we save data to chunks. When stop event triggered, we create a blob from chunks. Data type is important. It should be video webcam for video and audio with any create a video element with that blob. So you can save blob as a file to the user device or send it via Ajax or whatever. Also, we can start stream, we can take photo, we can record video. Next, let's have fun and we'll see what crazy things we can do with video stream. So start at first from filters. I have few buttons. I click on grayscale and my video start gray. I click on invert and it inverted colors of video stream on the fly. I click on Instagram toaster. You can add any color filters like color filters in Instagram and of course take photo. Yay! So how to achieve it? It's very simple. Just apply CSS filter property to the video element, and before calling the draw image method, save current value of filter CSS property to filter property of canvas context. So, that's all. Next, ASCII video stream. I don't know, it's just for fun. Let's begin. Ooh, it's so Odie. It's me. You can see me. I don't know for I don't know in which cases it can be useful, but it's very interesting how we can get video stream and transform data of fragments of frame of this stream and transform it to any information whatever we want. So let's go next. Next, applying face mask on the video. So, oh, I'm Panda. It works. It works very bad because I'm not a very good developer, maybe. It's analyze every video frame with face recognition library, recognize my face, provide some coordinates of my eyes, my face, and sizes of it. And next, I apply PNG image with transparency, with coordinates, apply on video stream over canvas. Google have own API, shape detection API. It's just only in Chromium. Shape detection API provide face recognition API, text recognition, and other things. But I'm here using tracking.js library, and maybe we have other libraries maybe based on WebAssembly for it. So it's possible. Next, interesting things, it's AR. You can add any 3D object on your video, but I need a marker. I have marker on my smartphone. I show marker to web camera, and this paint red square on video stream. It's a very simple example, but in real world, you can create any 3D model, any complicated things. You can detect any things on video and paint this stuff. So, and funny point is that library for AR, it's very simple, a frame, just adding a frame scripts and use their special component. This is all for creating with demo. Oh God, it's magic. So what next? What we can do any with video, with devices, with on browser? We can create web application for this conference with WebRTC, like big blue button where we sit now. Also, we can create progressive web application, like native photo app, or like Instagram app, or like TikTok app, I don't know. We can add some VR, AR, also cool things. So I collect all resources about media stream API. I collect not only docs, but examples, tutorials, useful libraries in my awesome list on GitHub. So you can see it if follow on this click or this link. This is all. Thank you. With short link to these slides, but I think you see URL of slides in browser. This is my Twitter. You can follow me. So thank you for listening. Thank you for inviting me. I'm ready for your questions.
Thank you, Zarema.
I see some questions in the chat.
We have some questions, and the first question was from Thibaut at 1932, if you want to see the question. You see? When you are applying a filter and reapply to canvas, is the pictures written with the style? You see this question, no? Or I can.
When you're applying a filter and reapply to canvas, this picture is written with style applied, or you are reapplying the same filter to the video rendering in the page. This picture is written with style applied. In case with filters, I use canvas, and when we using canvas, we get every frame of video stream. So it's picture, and draw this picture to canvas on every frame. So it's applying filters to picture in canvas. I did not understand or not.
Thibaut, you can write that. Is everything clear? Or to ask additional questions. And Zarema, what do you like most of all from all these features which you presented us?
ASCII. It's so strange.
Yeah. It's like, yeah. Matrix person from the machine.
Need to paint it to green.
I think Panda also was good.
Yeah.
Okay, let's wait a little bit more. The question from Christoph. Do you see? Did you find libraries with filters, or you have to write by yourself?
Filters, you mean Instagram filter?
It was some CSS. Yeah, Instagram. Yes.
It's I don't remember. You can see it in my code on GitHub.
It was. I saw that it was some CSS, just filter.
Yes, it's just simple CSS.
Yeah, but I guess that there are a lot of libraries for this as well.
I think there are examples of different Instagram filters, how to achieve it with CSS.
Yeah.
Oh, my cat.
Cat. Where is cat? Okay. And more questions. Tibor wrote, he understands that it's written on Canva object, then you can save it as picture on the device. Was hoping more direct way of saving picture with filters. He's lazy.
Where is?
As I remember, picture from Canvas, it's easy to save as base 64. The easiest way. Yeah.
We can save a picture with filters only with Canvas, and this is my cat.
It's good. The cat was waiting the
end of
the end of the dog. Okay. If no one else has question, we are going to the next talk. Let's just say, wait a second. Between the 3 ways to take a picture, which one is the more efficient?
I need to translate efficient.
Efficient, effectively.
If talked about performance, I don't know how. I don't know which benchmark with it, but draw image by Canvas gets result same as video. Image capture gets other results. It's not very good.
Okay, and Fabrice, if you
may I catch video in my site and translate it to any code platform? It's possible. What do you think? You can transform video on server. I think, and provide transformed video to your client users, or you can not transform video on server and add filters on client side on every platform. But I think every browser supports with CSS filters, supports Canvas, and I'm sure mobile technologies contain the possibility for it too.
Okay. The last question: what the cat thinking about?
She don't care. It's cat.
Okay.
She won't eat, I think.
Tibor, I think something I could share. You need to have your code served over HTTPS for accessing camera on iOS.
You need to use.
Okay. Yeah. Let's stop with the questions, and we are going to the next talk. Just thank you again, Zarema, for your interesting talk with animations, and it was very interesting. With.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye. And
thank you.
I
stop my video and stop my mics.
I'm switching on to Mark. Mark, you can share your screen and your camera. And okay. Hi. And
can you hear me?
Yes, it's good. Next talk will be about building Vue.js reactivity from scratch. And Mark Bakis is our next speaker. Let's meet him. And okay, Mark, I know you are very famous for your streaming in Twitter. I heard about this.
Oh yes, I posted on Twitter about it today and yesterday. So
yeah,
I think some of my Twitter friends joined in.
Yeah, that's good. Okay, yeah, Mark, you can start and please share.
Okay, hold on. I will share my screen. Okay. Okay, I don't see the other the text chat anymore. So if something comes up, just please over microphone, because I have here the speaker notes and on the other side the keynote. So yeah, good evening everyone. I hope everyone is doing awesome. I'm very happy to be here. Thank you for hosting LuxembourgJS and the introduction, Vasilia. Also, Sarima, kudos for your talk. I really liked some things that you can do with a native API for video. All right, so today we are going to learn a bit about how reactivity works in modern frameworks, and this talk is based on Vue.js because that's where I have most experience in. So yeah, my name is Mark Bakis. That's me, and that's my little sidekick, my dog. She's called Yoda. I'm a freelancer based in Luxembourg. I'm streaming from there tonight or this evening. I'm working mostly with the Mython stack. Whoever came up with that weird name, you probably could change the letters around so it sounds better. But yeah, that's what I work mostly with, Node.js, Vue.js. And yeah, this is my Twitter handle. That's where I usually hang out. And if you have questions after the talk, I'm very happy to address any questions that go over the talk with you there. So yeah, so why do I do this talk? It all started a couple of months ago in Amsterdam. I went to Vue.js Amsterdam, a fantastic event, all things Vue.js, and the day after the conference, I had a workshop with this guy. I don't know who of you recognize him, but this guy, that's Evan You. Evan You is the creator of Vue.js, and the workshop I was doing with him was called Deep Dive into Vue. So it was 8 hours. This guy coded 8 hours live coding straight without any errors. So I hope I can reproduce some of that tonight. And one of the most interesting things, or yeah, things that caught my eye was how they resolved reactivity in Vue.js. So that's what we are going to talk, what we are going to see in this talk. So what is reactivity? So reactivity is magic, right? So you change something and magically everything else falls into place, right? Or is it magic? Well, maybe not. Let's take a closer look. What is a reactivity? It's basically just when you change one thing and you update it wherever it's needed. That's about it. And yeah, so we need to listen to some changes and notify whenever a change happens. So some of you might already recognize some keywords here regarding the observer pattern, but we get to that in a second. Yeah, so what do we need? Why do we need reactivity? So the problem is, the fact is that JavaScript gets executed in a sequential order. If we take a code like this one, we have here on this part 3 variables, one that's for total number of book pages, one that's how many pages someone read, and then a variable pages left, how many pages are left still to be read. So this function computes the last variable, the pages left. It's computed between the total pages and the pages read. So pretty basic stuff. And when we read a page, it outputs something to the log. I'm reading and I can't believe Dumbledore died. If you research this, you will actually find out that on the 6th book of Harry Potter, page 595, that's where Dumbledore died. Anyways, the page read variable is incremented here. So let's go. So we first we calculate the pages left variable here, and then when we log it to the console, we see something like you have 12 pages left to read. And then you read a page, reading, I can't believe Dumbledore died. I hope I'm not spoiling anything to anyone. Anyways, here we increment the pages read. And when we go again to log the same thing as before, but we already read the page, we see the obvious thing. You have 12 pages left to read, which is not what we want, but so yeah, this is not what we want, right? So we would have to call the computing function, in this case, the count pages left function manually every time we update the value. Well, that's not really nice, is it? No. So hell no, we are not going to do that. We are going to build some reactivity ourselves. So building reactivity, it's not rocket science. So I trust me if I say that it's not very complicated. We can build it tonight with less than 50 lines of code. And yeah, I will prove it to you that this is actually not rocket science. So a couple of things we need to build reactivity are getters and setters. So receiving and setting variables, the observer pattern. So one object observes another one and gets notified when something changes. A watcher, which is basically a function that's executed, or that checks when something, or that executes something when it changes. And the object dot define property. So these are 4 things that we implement here. And yeah, so I am going to make a live demo. Yeah, some of my friends came to this talk to see me crash and burn with this live demo, and I hope I can prove them wrong. So I also split the demo part in 2 parts. In case I go a little bit over the time slot, I won't do the second part. But let's see how it goes. So, okay, let's go here. I open a new folder in Visual Studio Code. It's yeah, it's a new folder. There's nothing there. So we call this dependency HTML. Let's just. Can someone tell me if the font is big enough?
Yeah, the font is fine, but we don't see the top line. If you can resize a little bit the window down.
Oh, I see. Damn it. So I don't know why they.
Yeah.
Oh, did you see all the slides correctly?
The slides, I think yes, but we don't know the original version, so maybe something was cut. But this
Okay.
now the VS Code is fine. We see the code.
Okay. Can't I change this somewhere? Oh, okay. Well, we work with this, so we need the Visual Studio Code, and I will pull some browser here. Oh, come on. Okay. So we are. I'm not going to put all the HTML head and body and stuff. Because it works for the demo. It works like this fine. So I will just open. Oh, I will open the console here. I will start a live server here, so we can see what we are coding. Yeah, I need the console. All right. So what we basically need is first a dependency class. We will see in a second what it does. I just call it dep because in Vue it's called dep. And this dependency class, well, let's see if I can zoom in a little bit more for you guys. If later I run out of space, I might zoom out. Okay, so this dep class, or this dependency class in this example, is going to have two things. Just let me comment this here. It has first an internal value, and it has a list of subscribers. What is a subscriber here? Subscriber is just a function that is that's executed when something changes. So let's just start by creating a constructor for this class. We pass an initial value here. We can do that as such. And yeah, we initialize these two things here. So we initialize the internal value. This value is value. And we initialize the subscribers. And this for now is just an empty array, but later on it will be something like an array of functions. So function 1, function 2, function 3, whatever functions that are subscribed to changes of our dependency class. So now something we need are getters and setters. So get value and set value. Oh, value. Okay, so you probably wonder why I use underscore value here. It's because we overwrite the functionality of the actual getters and setters, but we still have to implement it. So if we leave this empty and we set the value, nothing happens. So we have to write a basic getter and setter. So the getter is we just return the value, the internal value, and for setting it is this underscore value is, and then we pass here a new value. Amazing. Okay, this is part of what we need. Let's check it out. Let's try it out. So we have let's call it just dep, is a new instance of our dependency class, and we set it to value 1. Okay, nothing will happen because what I actually want to do is show you here. We use get. Let's output the value here so we see something. And we have here set, and we will output the new value. So now let's just run it to see if there's no errors. Okay, so now when I do something like, well, let's call this count. Let's count something. Count dot value is 7. And when we run it, we see, I don't know if you can see it, but this function that we wrote is being executed and the value is this later. So when we access the value somewhere, we just, for example, we just log it out to the console, count.value, we will see also a getter. So it gets set and get, and well, this 7 is just because we output it to the console. Okay, so this is the first part of the reactivity we need. I will comment this out. We might come back to this later. Now we need, now it gets a little bit more tricky, so I try to not rush over it too fast. We have a function that's called watch effect. Watch effect. And there we pass a function. And let's leave this empty for now, but what this basically does is it registers the function to the dependency class, but we are not there yet. It will later look something like this. Watch, we will call it like this, watch effect, and we will pass any function we want here that should be executed when something changes. And what changes? Well, now it gets even a little bit trickier. Whatever is accessed here. So we create a dependency for whatever is accessed here. In this case, for example, we just log out something like value changed, and we log the value to the console. Where is it? Count.value. Now this won't work because this is missing. Okay. It's a little bit prettier formatting. Okay. So now let's recapitulate. No, how is it called? Recap. We have this class. We initialize an internal value and an array of functions to nothing, and we just have custom getters and setters for this. So what we now need is we need to develop the actual observer pattern. So from below this line is observer pattern head. All right. It's just okay. So these are two functions. One is called depend, and one is called notify. Okay. Well, I think the notify one is the easier one. So let's start with this. What we want to do here is we want to execute every function that is in our subscribers list. Remember, this is an array, it's just a regular array of functions. So what we can do is we just iterate it. So this dot subscribers dot for each, and there we have like a subscriber here, and we just execute it as such. Okay, well, now I might have to zoom out a little bit. If you have trouble seeing with the font size, I can I can zoom in again, but if it's fine, I would like to go ahead like this. Okay, so now whenever notify is called, every function that's subscribed to changes here is executed. Okay, so in this case, we would want to execute this function that we pass to watch effect, but nothing is going to happen still. What font size is okay? Okay, perfect. Great. So we need to write the depend function. To understand what the depend function does is we need to implement first the watch effect function. So first we need something that's called, I call it active effect. It's by default, it's null, so there's nothing there. And what we want to do is we set this to, no, not here. We set this to the function we are passing here, and then we execute that function. And then to clean up after ourselves, we set it back to null. Okay, so what happens here? Watch effect, what does it do? So let's go over it little by little. So we pass on a function, we set it to active effect. We set the active effect to this function we call. So this is like, you can say it's a global variable. We execute it and we set it back to null. So what does this do? So this is going to be executed, but why would we want to execute this? We want to execute this to trigger this. Remember, this does something, and we defined it here. It's getting the variable. So we execute this in here. So in order, we execute this getter. Great. Okay. So what we need to do in depend is nothing more than we just said. Well, let me just put a comment here. We add function or add active effect to subscribers, and here is notify all subscribers. Okay, so sounds simple enough. Subscribers push, so it's an array, we can just push it. And what do we push? We push the active effect, and we only do this if there is something to push. Let's just line break here. Okay. So it starts to take some form. I tried to go over it again because I know that this part is probably the trickiest in this part of the demo. Again, we execute watch effect. In here, we just pass a function. In this case, it's just a console log that says that something changed, and we output the value. So when we execute this watch effect, we set an active effect. So let's say it's like a temporary variable, right? We set it to the function we passed, this function. We execute this function in order to trigger this getter here above, getter. And then we set it back to null. Okay, so now there's only a few things missing, 2 things to be exact. So we still don't depend on, or we don't subscribe any functions yet to the subscribers list, because where should that happen? But let's just think about it for a moment. Where would we want to invoke the depend function? The depend function, it will be called here. So we call this dot depend, and that's because whenever someone accesses the value, we depend. So we basically just add the function to our list. So we don't pass anything here because it's stored in our temporary variable. But what happens here is we see it here. We add it just to the list. It's nothing more than that. And then when we set the value, so what do we have to do when we set the value? We want to notify everyone that wants to be notified of this change. We notify them. So we just .this.notify, and here we go. When someone first, let's go over it one last time in totality. I just take away these things. I also take away these console logs. It might disturb from what's going on. Okay, let's go over it one more time. We execute this function. We pass it, no, forget it. We pass this function to watch effect. We set the temporary variable to whatever we pass here. So this, then we execute it in order to invoke this getter, and then we set it back to null. And when this happens, yeah, we depend. That's like probably the key of the entire operation. When we get something, it automatically depends, which means we push it to our list of subscribers of functions that want to be notified whenever something happens. Okay. So let's see what happens. I didn't execute this. No errors. This is good. So we already see here value changed to 1. How is that? It's because we set it here. We pass it as in the constructor. But now if we put count.value is 10. Let's see what happens. Yeah, value changed to 10. And when we get it, so when we basically, well, I think this is wrong. This needs to be just below. Yeah, this makes much more sense. First, we get value change 1 because we set it here. Then we get again value change to 10. Oops, because we set it here. So let's just let's make a little experiment. Set interval. So we run this every second, and what do? We make count value. We just increment it, and we do this every second. So you see, this is our very basic reactivity built in like, okay, not 50 lines of code, but 56 lines of code. If we take out the comments, we are below 50, we are at 40 something. We could also do something like we add a button here. Button, let's say add 100. And when we click this, we want to execute count.value. Add 100. So let's reload this. So our timer or our interval is still running here. And when we click add 100, we can see that something changes here as well. So we can do this as many times as we want. Yeah, so this is the basic functionality I wanted to show you guys. And yeah, also this is not really how in modern frameworks like things happen. So in modern frameworks, there is a virtual DOM being built from the actual DOM, but this is not important for our for example here. So yeah, by the way, I will send you a link, or I'll show you the link later where you can download all this code, so you can look at it in your time, or in yeah, when you have time and calmness to watch it, you will understand it better than in a 40-minute or 30-minute live demo. But this is basically how how Vue.js makes reactivity. Okay, let's go back to this slide. Okay, this was part 1 of the live demo. What did we do here? Again, to recap, we created a dependency class. So remember, this is the a class that has an internal value, a list of functions that are executed whenever something changes. We subscribe to changes when in a class when used. So this was the getter, and we notify when the internal value changes. This is a setter, and we do something when the value changes. Oh, actually, what I didn't show you, we can do it in a second. We can output something to the DOM when something changes, so it's more visible. Okay, so let me just check the time. I think I am already reaching my time limit. Someone of LuxembourgJS give me a sign if I should stop or go on.
It's fine. Continue, please.
It's fine. Okay, great. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So we go to building reactivity part 2. So a reactive function. We will see in just a second what that does in this live demo. So let's create an entire new file. It's called reactive HTML. And let's just copy everything we did here. We just copied here. And we need to make some changes, but yeah. Oh yeah, what I still wanted to show you is to output changes from the dependency class to the DOM. We can do that real quick. Just I'm working now in the reactive HTML. Yeah. So we can just have it.
Mark?
Yes?
Mark, just one moment. Can you resize a little bit the browser window? Just put it a little bit down. That will be easier. No, the VS Code was just fine, but just
was
the
it
browser.
Like this all the time or just now?
Well, yeah, all the time, but I guess everybody got the point.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Good. Okay. Thanks. Okay. Oh, so you didn't see when I clicked before. So I click here and the value changes here. Okay. Yeah, let's just add a div. We call it count. And we set nothing in there. And we just make whenever we can use our effect here. So we can do document.get element by ID count dot text content is this value. Okay, let's hope this works. Yeah, so without calling any manual functions, update or something, all of this is handled by our rudimentary reactivity we just built from scratch just now in like 30 minutes. Okay, but what I actually wanted to do, so I delete this again. We need to refactor a little bit our code, because now what we have is one only variable, which is in this case count, and we want to represent an entire state. So set of variables. So it could be something. Well, let's delete some things. Also, maybe this. It will be something like this. We have an object and we have there, let's stick with this count, and we have let's say a name. Well, nothing really representative in the real world, but it will have to do for our example. So no, that's not LuxembourgJS. Okay, what we want to do is we want that for every property in this object, we want to do this. So we need to refactor a little bit what we do. What we won't refactor is the watch effect function. This will stay how it is because it works pretty smooth. But we will have something like this, reactive, and we pass on the object here. And then we call this state, oops, like this. And then we can do something like state.count is 100 and state.name is test. And this, where is it? The function we pass in the watch effect is going to be executed whenever we change something here. So this is like a little bigger scale reactivity kind of thing. So I will comment this for now, but so we can see where we're heading. So I will just write, I will put it in here. We call it reactive. It accepts an object. And let's start from the bottom up. So let's assume we just have one variable, this count. And then later we add some more code to make it applicable for everything. Okay, so what we basically do here is we initialize, we initialize the reactive state, which is nothing more than, or let me write that, add dependency to all props. Okay. But at the moment, let's just do it for one. So what we do, just let me check my cheat sheet so I don't tell you something to confuse you. Okay. Yeah, what we do here is we create, as before, a dependency. Let's call it again dep. But in this case, the dependency class is not going to have any internal value. So this we will delete later, and just this part will stay. But we will still need to have a value, and this value, we get it from the object. So let's say we have the value is the object, oh no, count. Okay, so we create a dependency, we have a value which we read from the object. This is great, and now it comes the most important part of this is object.define property. What we can do with define property is we can define these setters and getters for each and every one of the properties of an object. That's pretty cool. So let's say from in the object of the count property, we add the following things. We add a getter, and we add we add a setter. Okay. So these functions do basically the same as above. So we can, well, first of all, we don't need a constructor anymore. Yeah, we don't need, well, yeah, we need this, but just for the subscribers. And the getter and setter, we don't need it anymore. We will take this down to the reactive function. So here, well, we will have to refactor some things. Okay, just hold on. So better. Okay, whatever. We will write together and setter a little bit different. So we still need, let's just copy it in. It's probably easier. And then we refactor. So this is the same code we had above. We just don't put value anymore because we just do it straight here. So we don't need this anymore. Cool. Now, we're not, there's nothing, there's no this here anymore. So it's not this depend and this notify, but it's what it is dep because we have the dependency here. So yeah, what we basically do is we create a dependency class or an instance of the dependency class for every prop from the object. So we do dependency depend here, dependency notify there, and nothing changed from our example before. Just this is basically just to do it on a larger scale with an object of variables or with many properties. Okay, and yeah, we don't return the value, we just return the value we have here. Yeah. And also this is new value, we have to pass it here. Okay. So this should already work, if I'm not mistaken. I will just need to execute the watch effect function, and here we just put we log something to the console, the classic value change, or let's call it state changed, and we just output state.count in this example. Okay. And this still does the same thing as before. Nothing changed in that area. Yeah. Oh, okay. We don't have the state yet. We have to stay here. And to make it a little bit more readable, I just copy this here. So we don't have that many lines of code. So, okay, we create our reactive state here. We initialize it with 0. And yeah, this should, let's see. Oh, an error, dep. Okay, it's not dep, it's new dep. Count of undefined. What? Line 64. If someone sees the error, just scream. 64 state. You mean state doesn't exist? It exists right here. Great demo. This? No. Just let me check. Just let me check. I practiced this today and it worked just fine.
It's 64 string. Yes, its state is empty. Undefined.
Oh yes, I know. Oh, this happened to me in the practice actually. Yeah, we pass an object here and then we manipulate the object here, and we of course have to return the object here. Wow. Why is the same error? Great. Now we have state changed 0, which is a little bit underwhelming. But if we do again this, state.count is 100. Yeah, it changes again. So we have back our activity. Okay, now let's add some more things. Let's add the name LuxembourgJS. And yeah, now we have to refactor a little bit this code, but not too much because it's almost perfect. We are also almost through, so just hang on, just one more minute, and we will be done with this. So object dot define no, not define. I want all the keys. So I want all the objects of this, all the properties of this object I pass. So the keys of the object, and I want to iterate over each and every one of them. And then we will execute whatever we wrote already here. Yeah, now we just need to replace the hard-coded count with key, because that's what it reads. Just basically just iterates over every property and does this all over again. And let's say we also output here state.name, and we set the name to something else. So cool, this works. So every time one of these variable changes, this function here is going to be executed. It's pretty neat. So let's just make one more visible example, and then we are through. I just make an input field. Yeah, let's call it name. Yeah, name. Okay, could be confusing. And then we have our, let's say, we log it to the console. So whenever something changes, we don't want to log it to, no, hold on. No, I'm missing something. What I wanted to do is when key up, when someone types something, we set name. Yeah. Oh. Set a name. So everyone who codes Vue recognizes some of the things that are going on here. So set name. So we state dot name is document dot select query selector. Let's just say where name is name, and we want the value of that. Let's say every time someone types something, the name is updated automatically, and we also, let's just count up every time someone does this. So let's see. So I don't know if you guys see this. When I type, the value goes up, the count goes up, and the actual value or the name, it changes on the fly. Yeah, so this is a basic example of this. I know that this could have been a little bit rushed for the short time we had, but as I said, I will provide some code for you to download, and you can execute it in your free time, and you can analyze it. Yeah. So we're almost through. Let's just go over this one more time to create the state. We wrote a function that's called reactive. We iterate over all the properties. We create a dependency with the dependency class we wrote before. We just refactored that a little bit. And we define a getter and setter for each property with the object.defined property. Yeah, so this is my maybe a little bit too rushed demo, but I hope you liked it anyways. And yeah, thank you for your attention, and also for not falling asleep. You can also take note of these links. These are like just GitHub gists where you can download not exactly the code I did here, but basically the same, because yeah. Okay.
Great, Mark. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Let's wait some maybe questions from people, guys. Please ask some questions. Mark is here. He's waiting. You see the last question.
Does Vue use the proxy API under the hood? Yes, Vue 3 uses the proxy API. The example I showed you is from Vue 2. Ellie, did that answer your question? Perfect. Also, don't forget to follow me on Twitter.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it was maybe very hard that they don't have questions for now.
Yeah, the questions will probably arise when they download the code and they try to play around a little bit. But I'm almost always responding to DMs in Twitter when someone writes me. Yeah.
Mark, let's show our t-shirts to guys.
Oh yeah, sure.
JavaScript, guys. Yoo-hoo!
Who took a screenshot?
Yeah. Okay, thank you very much, Mark. It was so cool to have you today with us here. And I hope we maybe meet someday in our meetups alive in Luxembourg when it will be possible. And okay, guys, also if you have some questions to Mark, you can ask him on Twitter. As usual, if you have some questions for our meetups or organization, or you want to help us somehow, write us in Twitter, for example, or on meetups.com website. And please go to meetups.com event after this event, and you can feel some and give us some feedback about how we did it. Maybe you have some ideas how we can do it better next time. Okay, and I hope that we will have video after all of this, that it will be fine. It's our first try, and yeah, hope that we can see it again later. Thank you, Mark.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It was great to be here, and I hope someone took something away from my talk. That would be really great.
Yeah, I'm sure. Okay, thank you, everyone. We are closing our LuxembourgJS online meetup, and see you on June. We have next meetup in the beginning of June. We have also 2 talks. Stay tuned. Bye.
Bye.